So I just finished listening to The Naked Communist by Cleon Skousen, and it was a very, very interesting book to listen to. I'm sure reading it would have been even better, but it was faster for me to listen to it while I was doing other things. Um, Mainly, the takeaway I got from it is don't trust communists. That's basically it, and it's a quote that I remember hearing, and I'll just have to paraphrase because I can't remember it exactly. I think it was the leader of Russia after Stalin, which I can't remember his name. Dang it. He said to it was either Ezra Taft Benson or Eisenhower that they will they will feed us socialism until we accept communism, and that and that's a bit scary to me, especially since slightly later in the book he talks about the different steps they take to introduce communism to America. And it's the book originally was written in like the 50s or very early 60s. And then it's been updated by Cleon's son. I think in 2015 was the latest update. And a lot of the steps that they said they were planning on taking, you can see. And one thing that they really push is getting rid of religion out of pushing religion out of society as much as possible. Also getting rid of property rights. Also the Constitution. You got to get rid of those very, very core tenets to America in order for communism to come in and take the place of God, to take the place of the Constitution, to take the place of, or to take the property. Because in a communist country, the property is common around to everyone, right? Everyone gets to share in the wealth. The problem with that is some people are more equal than others. The leaders of the country get to live high on the hog, and everyone else, if they survive, get the scraps. That's exactly what's happened in literally every single communist country that has ever existed on Earth. I just recently watched a thing on Rhodesia, and how Rhodesia at one point in time was a British colony. But because of the United Nations and Russia, the USSR at that point in time, England was talked into letting Rhodesia go. And the moment they let Rhodesia go, communists came in, slaughtered all sorts of people, and put in a communist dictatorship that ruined the country. So now the president of the country, he lives on a compound, and he doesn't have a fridge. He has a cold room where all of his food can be. And everyone else, they might have electricity sometimes. If they want to get from one location to another, it's either board an expensive plane or drive on a road that's filled with potholes, and they fill in the potholes with dirt rather than fixing the road. And there's criminal gangs everywhere. It just sounds like a wonderful place to live, right? Anyway, So I Kamala Harris chose her VP pick, and his name is Tim Walz, and he's a piece of work. He was in the National Guard right up until the point where they got ready to be deployed to Iraq, and then he decided, no, I won't be in the National Guard anymore, and he quit. And even though he quit, he keeps going around saying that he served in combat, which he never did. So people are starting to call him out on that, including J.D. Vance, who did go to Iraq J.D. Vance went to Afghanistan. Tim Walz was supposed to go to Iraq. He refused. So let me show you this clip.
But we can get out there, reach out, make the case. And for one thing, don't ever shy away from our progressive values. One person's socialism is another person's neighborliness.
One person's socialism is another person's neighborliness. Something else he said, to not shy away from progressive values. That's one thing that I've heard, that communists and socialists, they try not to use those words very often, because America has had a long history ever since communism has come to be. They kind of shy away from communism and socialism because our history has been fighting against the communists, fighting against the socialists. So the communists and the socialists in America, they decided to call themselves liberal or progressive. And that sounds a lot nicer than communist or socialist. And there was a posting just above that. The Chinese people were led to believe that socialism was just neighborliness. By the time they found out the truth, it was too late. And in the Naked Communist, Cleon talks about the invasion of communism into China, that China really tried fighting communism, and America could have helped them, but they were trying to be neighborly with Russia. And the only reason why communism was able to take root in Russia is because of the Lend-Lease program that America had with Russia, where we fed them for quite a few years at the beginning of World War II. And what was the thanks that we got? Nothing. Stalin said, you should have just kept on feeding us. And that's the thing with communists. The way Cleon Skousen described it, it's kind of like inviting a thief to dinner. When the thief comes in, he looks at all of your stuff and goes, oh, I think I will take all of this stuff. It looks great. I'll take it all. And while you're sitting there at the table, giving the thief food, the thief is just casing the joint, just excited to have that opportunity to steal from you, even though you've been so hospitable. And that's exactly what the USSR did with America. They accepted everything. They accepted the hand of friendship that the America gave, and while they were shaking America's hand, they were using their other hand to steal nuclear secrets, to embed spies everywhere. It was getting collaborators. It's a really interesting book, and I highly suggest that everybody read or listen to it. And I'll share a link to that down below. But yeah, I think America has fallen asleep since the fall of the Soviet Union. And because of that, we are not paying attention to all of the socialist programs that have been instituted within America, causing us to become a more and more and more socialist country. And now with the neo-Marxist movement within America, where it's not divisions in class in America, because the middle class is for so many years has been doing so well, they couldn't really get the class struggle going. So instead of a class struggle, we have a race struggle here in America, which is ridiculous, because I don't have a problem with any other races. And I would say 80-90% of Americans don't have a problem with any other races. If a Mexican and an African come to my door and want to talk to me, hopefully they speak English, because I don't speak any other languages. That's a failing of mine. But I would welcome them in, and I would hopefully enjoy their company as long as they're not communists. They're not planning on stealing all of my stuff. But that's one thing that we really need to focus on, is reintroducing religion into our lives. And whenever we see communism or socialism, calling it out and fighting against it with every fiber of our beings. Anyway, so that's the socialist Tim Walz and his neighborliness, trying to get us to give all of our rights away so we can become socialists. Yay! Let's all be socialists now. No, we fight against socialism. Anyway, that's enough me rambling. If you like what I have to say, please like, share, subscribe. You know the thing. A little Biden there. We'll talk to you later.